Hello and welcome to On the Way Moments, a podcast from St. Anthony on the Desert Episcopal Church here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. And on this podcast, we have the honor of hearing the stories of some very interesting people and on the way moments they've experienced that have changed the course of their lives. I'm Will Strong, and I'm your host today. And on today's special episode, we have a special person with us we would like to introduce you to. If you haven't already met her, Reverend Canon Holly is our new rector of St. Anthony. And for those of you who are part of our community, we are very excited to have her. And I think all of you will soon see why. So welcome, Canon Holly.
Thanks very much.
It's good to have you here, and we've been praying for that special person and to come to St. Anthony, and here you are. And so we just kind of want to take today and get to know you a little bit more. And so we'll start, if you want to share some background information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I prayed to be that special person for some time. Yeah, I've been actually watching the On the Way moments, especially since we received the, isn't that neat how the rectors take the credit?
I think you
and
should.
They weren't even here. When you received the award at the Diocesan Convention for innovation in ministry during the pandemic. So background information. So I've been a priest for about 13 years, ordained a deacon in 2008. I've been in the Diocese of Arizona as a clergy person since 2014. Okay. And I've been in the Diocese of Arizona as like a person since about 1997 when my family moved here to Fountain Hills.
Oh, nice. Where'd you move from? Where'd they move from?
They moved from Maryland,
okay.
And I moved from Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. A little change of weather?
Oh my gosh, it's the most wonderful change of weather. My bishop in Pennsylvania asked me if I would be considering a position there in Pennsylvania, and I said, no, I don't believe in that God. There's no way I'm going back to that kind of weather.
Yeah.
So to be quite serious about it, I love it here.
Yeah.
I love the weather. I love the people.
Yeah.
I like the variety of being in the valley where the weather is warm and getting to deciduous trees and snow up in Flagstaff, because clergy, we only work Sundays.
Right.
So Tuesday, Wednesday is my snow day.
There's no
and then I'm back
day.
in the valley by Thursday, just to make people think that I've been here the
she's
whole
been here
time.
all week.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. We were just talking about that before we even started about living here in Arizona. It's literally 2 miles, an hour flight out to San Diego. I mean, it's just everywhere. We have everything we could imagine here.
Yeah,
so.
we've got a wonderful airport, good transportation opportunities, and we don't travel a lot, but when we do, it's really easy to get out of here to go other places.
Yeah. So before you became ordained, what did you do?
Before that, I did a year as an AmeriCorps Vista with a group called Bluegrass Literacy, who did English language for farm workers, whether they were with thoroughbred horses or tobacco farmers. Wow. And then before that, I was with, it was FedEx Kinko's when I ended, Kinko's when I started. Oh, okay. Did about 10 years as a copy jockey, as they call it, but making copies. Yeah.
Who was that, Rob Schneider?
Yeah, exactly. So I did that. I started off making copies mostly, but then I went into management and training, HR and sales, because my education actually is in business finance.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. That's great. And how do you like being here at St. Anthony then?
I would be understating if I said anything less than I love being at St. Anthony. I really never dreamt that I could be at St. Anthony. I came here as my vacation church in the late 90s, and then I preached a couple times in right when I got out of seminary, and I just I've always experienced that what I think God can give me and what God can really give me, I so underestimate God. And I just never really thought that I'd get an opportunity to be here. So when it came around that it was going to be possible to even consider it, it was really an exciting time. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I mean, and I know you probably know this, but the buzz on the street here, I mean, we're just so thrilled to have you and really looking forward to developing the ministry. I've kind of been at St. Anthony on and off for about the last 10 years. And I always tell people the moment that I first walked into the sanctuary, it was like my breath was literally taken away. There was just, the Spirit was working. And in the last 10 years, I've just seen it continue to it's just a beautiful place, like spiritually. So I love that. I love that we have a leader now, a leader here that's really going to kind of take us to that next step. And I know a lot of people are. So
Well, I'm hoping that you're going to take me to the next step.
we will. It's
I'm hoping we're gonna
yes.
do that together. And that's one of the things that's always excited me, pleased me about St. Anthony as a clergy person watching from the outside. I knew that Father John Coffey. I knew
Okay.
your previous rector, Dorian Mulvey, and just watching how involved you all were in the community, how much faith in action meant to your identity. I thought there's a church that gets what it means to be Christian community, what it means to be together, and how the worship experience feeds you, but it's not the end of that. You know, it's easy to say we're a worshiping community and get spiritually bloated because we don't actually go out and do the work. Watching from the outside in to St. Anthony, I've always seen that, you know, the work of ministry is really getting done in this community. So just building on what has already been and what will be, what can be, what God is calling us to, I think it's really an exciting time. I think it's an exciting time to be an Episcopalian.
I think so. Yeah.
I really feel like the world needs what we have. The world needs how we have conversation with each other. The world needs how we care for people outside of our walls, how we see ourselves as a part of the neighborhood and as a part of community. And I think certainly the pandemic really showed me the importance of pastoral care to our neighborhoods, reaching out with what our resources are, and not being isolated and insular, and how we both identify God and how we define God and what it means to be a follower of Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, you kind of alluded to it, but, you know, what are some future, you know, dreams for the future, or where do you see kind of St. Anthony as we all work together, you know, moving forward? And
Yeah, my hope is that St. Anthony will be both an ecumenical partner in this part of the community in which we find ourselves, and also that we'll partner with the other Episcopal entities in our area, as well as the other Anglican entities in our area, to provide that richness of formation in what it is to have an Anglican identity, what it is to have an Episcopal identity. So I'd really like to see us think more broadly than how the parish moves in the communities, to say, what does it look like to be Episcopalian in the Northeast Valley?
Yeah.
What does it mean to bring the Episcopal ethos into the Northeast Valley? You know, this is a place that, you know, I come from in the diocese, the downtown area, and North Phoenix, North Central Phoenix, big music, big arts kind of centers. And arts and music and education are so central to our identity as Episcopalians. I really want to see how we use our campus for education and formation, for music and arts, and how we go out into our communities to share what is our identity, because it really is truly central to who we are as Episcopalians.
that's wonderful. I'm on board, and I know a lot of us are. I mean, that's just wonderful. You know, I didn't grow up in the Episcopal Church, and when I found the Episcopal Church and the rich liturgy and everything behind it, it just was a place that I felt at home for the first time in one of my life. Of this is something I truly can get behind and believe in, because you're right, the Christian journey, the Christian ministry is so prevalent here. And I mean, it isn't every church, but I mean, for me, it was here in the Episcopal Church, and so I think it's very exciting time for us, and so.
And I think actually that we've made a mistake in the Episcopal Church in many of our centers in watering down our liturgy, making it less of what is our faith tradition, when really I think I was attracted to that as a young adult. I know other young adults who were attracted to not a buddy Christ,
Right,
you know,
right.
not that Jesus is my pal, and you know, I want a God and a Jesus who are otherworldly, you know, that are there for me all the time. But when I walk into church, I want church to go, oh my God, I cannot get this anywhere else in the world. This is not a concert stage. This is not a place where we do lectures. That's not our primary vision here. Our primary vision is kingdom of God here on earth.
Absolutely.
And I want people to walk in and go, oh, I've been looking for this.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed. I didn't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
But when they leave our presence, when they leave our worship, they go, I have to have that. Yeah. And I just didn't know it. You know, I want that response where the goosebumps where we go, "Whew, wow, that was an experience." Because I think our Episcopal tradition just offers that in gobs and gobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say that there was a study done recently of people in the younger generation wanting that, you know, kind of moving away from the concert type churches into the more traditional churches of the Episcopal Church and more of the liturgical churches. And you're right, like that's really that's where the meat is. That's the depth, in my opinion, of the Episcopal Church really offers that goosebumps.
Well, and sometimes when people say I want traditional church, there's a backlash fear about, well, what about our contemporary music?
Right.
It's not about removing contemporary music. It's about doing contemporary music excellently. It's about doing contemporary music with people who understand how to do that. Yep. So it's not about stripping out all that is good about an identity of a community and say, no, we must go back to, I don't know,
the hymns from the 1800s.
We're going 1549, baby. Nothing
right.
here but the 1928 prayer book. No, I don't mean it that way. I mean that what we offer with a deep sense of reverence, a holiness, and just a excellence. Yeah. Excellence in resourcing people to live life out in the world and feel like they have been given a foretaste of the kingdom.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amen. I just felt like I was blessed right there. Thank you for that.
Indeed.
And so, we are, like I said, we're so pleased to have you here. And I know a lot of people want to get to know you. And so we're going to do some rapid fire questions. Not rapid fire, but just questions that are silly and fun.
Why did I bring that up to her this morning?
Because she said, that's a good idea. Every time Jill says, hey, Will, I have an idea. I'm like, let's do it. Like, hands down. So,
okay, all right.
Favorite genre of movie?
Oh, comedy.
Comedy, okay. Your favorite go-to pastime?
Have to be spending time with family and with my dog.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Favorite month?
November.
Is that your birthday month?
It is.
There you go.
It's my birthday. It's my husband's birthday.
Oh, wow.
It's Thanksgiving. And it's preparing for Christmas.
I love it.
It's like that last time you get a chance to like slow down before it's coming. Yeah. All the parties, the choir party, the vestry party, the HOA party.
Gotta go.
Exactly.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite age so far?
Like my age?
Yeah. What was the favorite age so far?
Oh, late 40s were good.
Okay.
Yeah, late 40s I really started to be more brave about who I believe God wanted me to be, and be more brave about who I believe the church was asked to be for communities. I was less concerned that what if I preach something that everybody's really struggling with? It's like, well, first do the work of building the relationships, and then have the conversations that are hard.
I like that. That's good.
Hard shell.
I was just
Tacos.
soft shell or hard? Soft shell or hard shell?
Hard shell.
Okay. Favorite rainy day activity? Not that we get a lot of rainy days here, but
Probably America's Test Kitchen and Cook's Country.
okay.
Watching the recipes first, and then my husband loves to cook, and I am learning. I'm learning to cook. Nice. I started off as a sous chef, so a lot of knifey stuff. A lot of cutting, tearing, tossing, cleaning. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing that you've ever made then?
Favorite thing that I ever made?
Yeah.
I love to make lasagna.
Okay.
This is part of my family heritage. Okay. We have a lasagna recipe that goes pretty far back on both my mom and dad's side.
Okay. What's something that never fails to make you laugh?
Oh my gosh. So much makes me laugh.
Right.
Never fail. Okay, there's a scene in the movie Ruthless People.
I've never never saw it.
Okay. And I laugh at it because my father laughed hysterically at it. Right. And I'm not big on like watching things where people get injured. But there's this scene where Bette Midler, who's being held hostage by Judge Reinhold, wings a coffee mug across the room, and the sound that it makes when it hits the bridge of his nose, and he just goes, it's just, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh God, that was so real. Yeah.
That's good. So, that is funny. A few more. Favorite animal?
Dogs.
Dogs. Okay.
Yeah. My Sienna's in my office today for the first time.
She's super cute. So
she's coming to that point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sunshine or rain?
Sunshine.
Favorite season?
Probably fall. Okay. Used to be spring, because when you're in Pennsylvania, every day is, please don't let me shovel on Easter Sunday again. This is as late as Easter can be. It's the end of April, and why is there snow on the ground? Yeah. But now it's like when spring comes, it's like, oh no.
We know what's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, the inferno is coming.
I would agree.
So probably fall. Probably that first nighttime walk where I need a coat.
Yes.
Like, when it hits about 78, it's like, ooh, it's so cold
here. It's cold here in the desert.
Sorry, people not in the desert.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Pepsi or Coke?
Neither.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a caffeine drinker.
Good for you.
When I was in seminary, I was still in the caffeines, and it was Mountain Dew.
Oh man.
I'm from Kentucky, so we go Mountain Dew. We go RC and a moon pie. Throw the peanuts down in the bottle. Yeah.
That's funny. East Coast or West Coast?
So many advantages to both.
I know, right?
Yeah. West Coast to live, East Coast to visit.
Okay. I would agree with that, yeah. East Coast, the ocean is warmer, too, in my opinion. So. In the East Coast, Florida.
Oh,
you go to San Diego.
I was going to say.
Well, yeah,
you've clearly not been at Mama the Beach in New Jersey, because there's nothing warm about that beach.
I was just thinking of the
people are warm.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Pensacola, that was nice, but then you go to San Diego and it's freezing.
Okay, so. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years,
wow.
and that was some nice warm water.
That's so. Yeah. Favorite place to live that you've lived?
Oh, favorite place to live is where I live right now. Okay. I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in Georgia, Kentucky, Virginia, Colorado, Hawaii, Maryland, Washington State a little bit, California a little bit. But I think of it as a time instead of a place. Yeah. My favorite place and time to live is right now.
Nice.
Because I love where I am, and I love what's going on in my life right now.
All right, let's do one more. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do when it gets too hot.
Well, thank you. One of the questions we do ask all of our kind of doing the lighthearted, but then we always like to ask, what is an on-the-way moment in your life that may have changed the course of your journey, if you will? If you wouldn't mind sharing something.
On the way, like a faith moment? On the way where?
We've heard everything.
I know.
You could even share 2 or 3. Joe will pick one.
I'm going to share bookends of on the way moments. The first one being how I go on the way to becoming a Davis, and that was that I was adopted. So my mom and dad couldn't have any more children, and they had a son, and they wanted a boy and a girl. So I was adopted in 1967, and if that hadn't been that first on the way moment, I never would have. Who knows what would have happened?
Right.
And then the bookend of that on the way moment is that I came out here for sabbatical in 2014, January of 2014, and it was after my father had died. My dad died in May of 2013. In fact, his funeral was here, and I preached at his funeral here. Not an Episcopalian. He died a good Episcopalian. I think he lived as a Presbyterian. But anyway, and I met with Dorian because my spiritual director, he and I had talked about how best for me to be healthy during sabbatical, and we decided that was to not cut away completely from church. So Dorian offered me to do one Wednesday a month for the 3 months I would be here. So I would come in, change into my vestments here, preach and celebrate in the St. Luke's chapel, finish, change back into my street clothes, and then I would leave. So the on the way moment between those two pieces were that I've always gone the right way. I've always been on the way to where I was supposed to be, surrounded by a lot of people who cared about me. And every time I've been on the way to a place I shouldn't be, it's because I have walked away from those people. I've walked away from God in a variety of ways. But I never expected to stay here. I was on sabbatical, like I said. I intended to go back in April, and I did. But I went back to resign from my position because I found a position here. But my on the way moment was actually preaching in that chapel and recognizing this was home, and I needed to return. And it was time for me to be with my brother and my mom, where I stayed with them during sabbatical, and that we made this really wonderful family unit, even without my dad. So in some ways, getting to come to St. Anthony and be here and share with you, it was that next on the way moment where I knew some people from here. I knew Mary Vanslow. I knew Jill. I knew Dorian. I trusted all of them, and I trusted my experience that I'd been here when Father Coffey was here and when Dorian was here as the rector, that it was a loving, kind, generous, healthy community. And just following that path was my on-the-way moment. Yeah. So who knew I was on the way here?
You were on the way.
But I'd been on the way here for a long, long time in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, blessed. Just like, this is wonderful. Thank you.
I feel truly blessed.
Yeah.
So blessed to be here.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And like I said, we're blessed to have you. Just
Thanks.
to be working together and moving forward and everything. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. One of the things we also say, is there any way people can find you on social media? Where's the best way to contact, or if they just want to
the best way to get hold of me is Facebook. I'm still very much on Facebook. I have a LinkedIn account that I monitor a little bit. I've got a Twitter account under my name, and I've got one under Pop-Up Pastor.
Okay.
I've got an Instagram account under Pop-Up Pastor. Neither of which I really visit very often. The best way really is through Facebook.
Perfect.
If you've got my phone number, and everybody in the parish should have it at least, you can text me. Perfect. I'm pretty available with very few exceptions.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Holly. Again.
Thanks.
This was wonderful, and
I'm excited to work with you.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah,
Yeah, we've got great work to do, great ministry to do.
Yeah. And God's gonna bless our lives. As we know.
God has and will.
Has already.
That's the God we know, right?
Absolutely.
The God that is good all the time.
That's right, all the time. Well, that is it for today. And so if you liked the episode, please give us a thumbs up, give us a shout out, give us a subscribe, leave a comment on YouTube, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Be sure to follow us and give us some love. And until next time, be on the lookout for those on the way moments. Thank you. Bye.